Hey, this is Mark, and tonight I've got a iPhone 6S with some pretty severe long screw damage. So this is clearly down two, probably even three layers deep. I can definitely see some traces broken right here. These guys up here might be broken. They probably will be before I'm done. And then got some pretty deep damage over here. I don't know how bad that is yet. So I'm just gonna pull these stickers off just to get them out of my way. All right. So this is, I think this might be the first, either the first or the second legitimate 6S long screw damage I've ever seen. These typically a person doesn't really screw these phones up too bad, but this guy was really determined. So I'm live streaming this just because that's easier than trying to record and upload later, and I will try and pay attention to the chat, but forgive me if I tend to ignore it. So I want to see how much of this board is spongy, which looks like there's a good bit over here that's spongy, so I want to cut outside of that area. I want to expose beyond the area that has become spongy and delaminated. So I'm just going to score kind of around the outside and try to shave this layer off without really causing much damage underneath. Now I know in the 6S I've got two ground layers before there's really much to deal with as far as traces. So hopefully this damage doesn't go that deep and I can move on after I check this out. All right. So it looks like most of the sponginess is gone now. Let's see if I can get this wet and see if it looks like there's any traces that need to be addressed here. And no, not really. There's a couple running left to right here, but they don't look damaged. And then the rest of it's ground plane. So there's just a couple of guys right here, but they look like they're probably fine, so I'm going to leave those for now. But this is definitely going to be a problem. Paul Daher asking if I'm in Florida. Yes, I am in Florida. Beautiful, sunny Florida. Was just talking to Sunday the other day, and she said that it's like a blizzard up there and just miserable. And I was telling her about how it's like 85 to 90 degrees during the day. She's very jealous. And those New York winters are brutal. So I'm exposing a lot of area that I don't really have to, like all of this over here. But the reason for that is because once I get down into the layers I actually want to work on over here, I want to be able to hold my scalpel kind of parallel to the board and just run across the top. And if I don't expose this area over here, then I'll have to like angle things, and then my tip will dig, and I don't want to accidentally go deeper than I intend to. So even though I don't need this whole ground plane taken off, I find that it's easier to get the job done if I just go ahead and take it off. Alright, so I can see these traces running across here are lifting up with that ground plane, so that tells me there's definitely something I gotta fix there. Alright, let's see what we can see now. Oh, why the hell is there so many people in the chat? Don't you guys have lives? What are you doing watching me fix phones on YouTube on Friday night? Whew. Alright, there's one trace that ends in a via right there that's kind of wobbly. Don't like the look of that. Alright, I knew that was going to come up. Just makes things a little more difficult. Alright, so it looks like I've got four traces to deal with in this layer. Now I gotta figure out where they go. Hopefully it's pretty obvious. Alright, so let's see. So there's a couple down here that are unbroken. Looks like this one connects over to here. That one probably goes to this via. Then, probably this one goes to this via. Let's see if that piece I took off can show me. I gotta go turn the TV down.
Assess the situation inside quickly. Subdue the freaks.
Alright. Let's see. Ugh, damn it. Where did these traces go? Did it go like that? I think it did go like that. So then this trace would go here. This one goes somewhere over here. And then I've got, looks like two more to deal with. Maybe I didn't have that lined up right before. Maybe it went like this. That makes a little more sense. That one goes there. This one. How did this go? So I've got 1, 2, and then this one went here. So that one goes there and this one here. So I'm looking for 2 more over here that can connect to these 2 guys. Now again, I've never worked on a 6S with this kind of damage before, so I also don't have a spare board or a bare board or anything I can use as a reference. So hopefully I'm just gonna be able to figure this out. Alright, I think these are my 2 guys here that connect over there. So that's all second layer stuff. Now we gotta look at this 3rd layer down here. So nothing too bad. I think I can just tin these guys up and they'll be fine. And then I've got to deal with these couple of traces up here at the top. For anybody that's just arriving, I apologize in advance for not paying attention to the chat, but I just kind of want to fix this phone and move on to the next repair. Oh boy. Alright, let's see, what do we got here? That's ground, not worried about that. Looks like I've got 4 lines. What do we have up here? Just get this out of my way. All right, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that I have to fix here. And I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4 right now. Where did this guy go? Wonder if he went there, if that was a via. Let's see, is it ground? That one's ground, but that one is not. So I'm going to say he went there. So there's my fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that 1, 2, 3, 4 to fix down there, 5 to fix across the top, and then hopefully this will work. Just going to tin these guys up to strengthen them a little. Yeah, I think they're good now. All right. Got some nice 45 gauge wire for doing this repair. I used to use vibrator motor wire, but I finally broke down and bought a spool of 45 gauge, which should last me 2 or 3 lifetimes. Oh, there we go. I knew that was going to happen. This is what makes this particular type of repair so tricky. Everything's close together, and it's very easy to stick the wire that you're working with against one that you've already finished, and then in fixing that end up desoldering everything that is already done. Just like that. Alright, that ground plane is too close to that trace. So we're just gonna get rid of it. Oh, it's my camera telling me I've been recording for, well, I've had it turned on for half an hour. Wake back up. Okay. Now, don't fuck this up. Whew, gotcha. All right. I really want to connect this far end of this trace first, but that's a bit of a problem because I'm right-handed and all my traces are on the right side here. So what am I gonna do? Guess I'm gonna switch it up and do it left-handed. I want that wire a little more straight. Oh, whoops. Where is the end of this wire? Oh my god. Okay, I've got to swap out to a different set of tweezers. These ones have gotten a little bit bent at the ends. They're just not doing the job for me. All right. There we go. Oh, that was lucky. That was 100% luck. Ugh. There we go. So originally this phone was not booting at all. I'm sure it had some other problems, but the main thing I'm concerned with right now is just getting all the damage I can see fixed and getting it to boot up. There we go. All right. 3 more traces to go. Is that 6? 6 down, 3 to go. That end could be connected a little better, but works for me. There we go. And we said you went over here to this guy. Probably. Make sure he's not touching ground. All right. Last one. I think this guy was going to go over to this. Okay. Guess now I can see if it boots up. Let's see. All right. Oh, that's right. I got an Apple logo, but no backlight. And that reminded me that in addition to the long screw damage, I also need to deal with this little guy here. Almost forgot about you, backlight filter. Yeah, classic. He got so hot he desoldered himself from the board. But my pads look good, so I'm happy. I just want to pick as much of this goop out as I can, just to give myself more room to work with my hot tweezers. All right, that'll do it. And dig out an old 6S backlight filter. Let's see, there we go. All right, now we should be in business. what I'm looking for here is a full boot up to the lock screen with working touch, and then I will be satisfied. I will be able to get the data off of this, and I will call that good. All right, so we got Apple logo. Paul says check for short on filter. No, not with a blown backlight filter in a 6S. When there's a short, that usually ends up, it happens before the filter. So in most of the backlights for the 6S I've worked on, either it was a short to ground during a screen change, which blows the filter, or it's a cap back by the backlight driver that shorts that then blows the diode but doesn't really bother the filter. Sometimes the filter is blown too, but I assume that's just from people messing around with screens and messing it up that way. But when I just see a blown filter and the diode looks okay, I don't really worry about a short. So this is taking a long time to boot up, but it doesn't appear to be boot looping. All right, there we go. And we have working home button and working touch. All right, so I'm happy with that. So I'm gonna call that good. Thanks guys for watching. I appreciate the views. I'm gonna go take a break. I might stream a couple more things tonight. It's been a while since I've put anything on the channel, so maybe I'll see you later. Thanks for watching.